I am heading back to the hospital for the first time since I was discharged 18 months ago. The last time I was dropped off at this location, I didn't leave for 28 days.
Ben is my younger brother. He's the youngest in the family. He's a go big or go home, and he often usually hits the go big mark right on target.
I tend to not do anything halfway. It started with I needed a way to get healthy, so I started running triathlons. I've done the Minnetonka Sprint Triathlon, why can't I go straight to Ironman? So that's what I did. In 2017, I signed up and did Ironman Wisconsin.
He set this goal, he did it, and he made it, and I'm so proud of him. He had actually been at Mayo Clinic for an executive health physical in February.
2 days of getting poked and prodded to make sure I was ready for another Ironman. 5 days later, I get on a plane where I contract COVID-19.
We were just starting to hear about COVID.
I had 102 fever, decided let's give the hospital a call. My wife dropped me off at the front door. First, they checked my oxygen levels, and it was 75%. 1 liter of oxygen, then 3 liters of oxygen, then 6 liters of oxygen.
And they talked to him one last time around 9 p.m. He says, I'm on 15 liters to maintain at 90%, and if I go to move, I fall to 70%. So I got off the phone and I told my husband, he's intubated by the morning. But then that next morning I got the phone call from Deanna, and she just said, I just got off the phone with the doctor, and I think I okayed them to do ECMO because they said if we don't put him on ECMO, he's going to die. My whole world just kind of dropped away, like what's happening?
When we were notified that we had our first COVID patient that was going to need ECMO, it frankly scared me to death. Ben was the first patient in the state of Minnesota to require critical care for COVID, and he was also the first patient to require ECMO.
They had authorized one visitor, and so I'd go in and see him, and first thing I would do is I would release one of his hands. He doesn't remember this, but I distinctly remember saying, hey, it's your sister, I'm here.
Go away.
And I was like, I love you, and he signed, I love you back to me. Got there the next day, and he was completely unresponsive, and that was a hard day. And I cried that whole entire day. And that was the day the palliative care team saying, we recommend that you take pictures because in the event he does not come home, you're going to need to show his family why he couldn't come home.
All I remember are the hallucinations. I had very terrible hallucinations throughout the entire first 7 days when I was under sedation. St. Patrick's Day I woke up, and then it was the slow, steady climb of getting better. On Friday the 20th, I stood for the first time while on ECMO. 2 days after I stood, they removed the ECMO cannula. 3 days after that, they removed my intubation tube. And by the time I left the hospital, all I had left was supplemental oxygen only when I was walking or moving around. I didn't need it to just sit. I get out of the hospital on April 6th, get to hug my daughter, hug my wife. I had my first walk the day after I was released from the hospital, and it was 7 minutes at 1 mile an hour on the treadmill. So excited, I was so proud of myself.
He had then decided he's going to do a race. He's like, Mike Riley called me. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like the voice of Ironman called you? He was like, yeah. And he was like, what do you think, Ben? Should you get back out on the race course? And I thought, well, yeah, why wouldn't I get back out on the race course?
The Ironman wasn't the goal. The Ironman was something out there to force me, to motivate me to get out every day, to walk the 9 minutes, then 10 minutes, or the days that I just didn't want to get out of bed or had trouble getting up the steps. I competed in Ironman Tulsa. The fact that 14 months to the day previous, I had my ECMO cannula removed, I couldn't believe I was there.
He saw him turn the corner And then Mike Riley goes, and here he is, Ironman finisher, COVID survivor, Ben O'Donnell.
Until I crossed the finish line, I didn't know if it was going to really happen. The euphoria, but then also just all of the emotions of the last year hitting me, were just, it happened all at once.
This is a great opportunity for me to be able to give something back to them. I've had the time to reflect about the impact that you all had on my life. The fact that I'm here, the fact that I was able to get home to my daughter. I couldn't have done any of this without all of you. And to thank you for that, I have my finisher's medal from that day. That this is the medal that my sister put around my neck as I crossed the finish line. One.
Thankfully, I was able to be put on ECMO, and now thousands of people have been put on ECMO and have survived COVID. And I feel fortunate to be the first survivor in North America with COVID on an ECMO machine. The fact that my story and my treatments were able to help others to survive this virus is, I think, I have no prouder moment than that.